The summer air hung heavy with the scent of magnolias when Daniel pulled into the cracked driveway of the old farmhouse. He hadn't been back to Willow Creek in almost 15 years, not since his father's funeral. Life had swept him away to city skylines, noise, and deadlines. But when the letter came, handwritten, shaky cursive on yellowed paper, it was impossible to ignore. Danny, the porch swing's still here. I sit out every evening, waiting for the crickets, and maybe for you. Mrs. May Henderson. She wasn't family by blood, but she might as well have been. Mrs. May lived next door when Daniel was a boy, the kind of neighbor who'd leave cookies on your doorstep, just because, and bandage your scraped knees when your parents were too tired to notice. Now, as he stepped out of his car, he saw her on that same porch swing. White hair in a loose bun, blanket across her lap, and eyes that still held that impossible kindness. "Danny," she said softly, smiling as if no time had passed. "You came." He forced a grin. "Of course I did. You sent the letter." She patted the swing beside her. "Then sit. It's been too long since this porch had company." The wood creaked beneath him as he sat. They watched the sun sink behind the hills in silence for a while. Crickets began their nightly chorus, fireflies blinking in lazy rhythm. "It's quiet out here," Daniel said. Mrs. May's lips curved into a faint smile. "It's quiet now, because you're here." He looked at her, puzzled. She continued, voice trembling like wine through dry leaves. "After my husband passed, I thought quiet meant loneliness. The kind that seeps into the walls and follows you room to room. But tonight, this quiet feels different. Peaceful. Because it's shared." Something in Daniel's chest shifted. He'd come here out of obligation, maybe guilt, but now he felt seen. They talked for hours, about her garden, about the kids who'd moved away, about the world that felt faster and colder every year. And for the first time in a long time, Daniel listened. Really listened. Then she said quietly, "You know, after your father died, I used to watch your mother on this porch. She sat here every evening, waiting for you to come home from school. Said your laughter was the only thing that made the house feel alive." Daniel froze. His mother had passed 5 years ago, and he'd never known. Never known she'd found comfort here, with Mrs. May, with this same swing. "I wasn't a perfect son," he murmured. "I didn't visit enough. I got caught up in everything else." Mrs. May reached out and squeezed his hand, her touch warm and steady. "You came back. That's enough." He swallowed hard, the weight of years loosening its grip. They sat there until the stars blanketed the sky, the world around them wrapped in gentle stillness. When Daniel finally stood to leave, Mrs. May smiled. "This porch'll be waiting for you, you know. Even when I'm gone." "Don't say that," he said softly. She chuckled. "Oh, honey, that's not sadness. That's life. Things end, but kindness, it lingers." The next morning, Daniel found a small note tucked under his windshield wiper. "Thank you for bringing the quiet back, Danny. Come sit again soon." She'd written it sometime after he'd left that night. He did come back, every weekend, then every other day. Sometimes to mow her lawn, sometimes just to sit on the swing and talk about nothing and everything. When she passed the following spring, Daniel inherited that porch swing. He placed it outside his own city apartment, and every evening, when the city noise faded just enough, he'd sit there, close his eyes, and listen. And in that quiet, shared across time and memory, he could still hear her whisper. "It's quiet now, because you're here." Kindness doesn't fade, it echoes. Sometimes, the smallest act of presence can heal years of distance. In a noisy world, being there for someone, fully, quietly, can be the loudest form of love.